I think let's go ahead and start. Hello everyone, this is Kiruba from KKM-Soft. I'm the CTO here at KKM, which is now known as Krion Consulting. So welcome to this webinar on our new product, Krion6D. I will start with a brief introduction to my company, and then we will directly jump into the product for a demo. And I'll be also joined by my colleague Diana, who will show a few features, and we end with a question and answer session. This is likely to take roughly an hour plus the presentation and the QA session. It should run for about 60-70 minutes. And thanks for joining again. All right, so let me go into the presentation. So a quick sound check. Is my voice clear and is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we have developed this product based on feedback from several customers across Asia and rest of the world. And the background is a lot of people wanted to have an on-premise solution, a solution that would run within their servers or their private clouds that can be shared within a location or within a country or within, let's say, a close group of people in a network. And this product, Krion6D, is developed on top of Autodesk Vault. So we have a very robust drawing and document management system in the background, complete with secure workflows. And the front end takes care of the other features in our solution, right? And it's based on Autodesk Vault and its Forge viewer capabilities. So that takes care of managing all the versions and different file types supported by Autodesk. We also support additionally MS Office as well as IFC file formats. All right. So quickly about Krion Consulting. Until January, we were known as KKM-Soft. After we developed our product Krion6D, we felt that it is relevant that we also sync with our product, and our company has been renamed Krion Consulting. So we are a 28-year-old company. 26 years we've been with Autodesk, and over this long journey we have acquired close to 5,000 customers, active customers. We have over 100 professionals on board, and on an average we train anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 students every year. That's our training division. And we already have customers and partners with whom we work in 7 different countries. In terms of domains and expertise, we are in the AEC infrastructure construction domain. We are also in manufacturing, government enterprises. We are in the AR, VR, and performance-based area. And we also do skill development, that is the training division. In particular, if you take our consulting capabilities, we are a system integrator who work for digital transformation through design automation, business automation, AR, VR, mixed reality development, digital twin development and creation, and Industry 5.0 implementation. In the areas of design automation, we customize or develop tools and plugins around the Autodesk products using APIs and other methods. An extension of that is we also do web, mobile, and machine learning based development for different types of business integration and business automation. When we come to VR and AR development, we are not a entertainment-based solution. It's more of an industrial simulator or training program, training-based virtual reality solutions developed along with integration to hardware. In the digital twin space, that is where our product Krion6D comes. We implement as well as have developed several digital twin solutions working around the Autodesk technology in combination with external third-party applications. In the Industry 5.0 implementation, we have implemented real-time monitoring of railways, right, trains and metro trains. So that's a separate practice altogether. So today we are going to focus on the digital twin-based project management solution, that is our Krion6D. Right. So when we started by trying to address these 5 major problems or challenges that construction industry faces, construction projects face particularly, right? One is in the project management and monitoring, other is the cost management and managing issues or mistakes, and communicating these issues and mistakes as well as any other activities to be communicated within the team and group, and an overall improvement in streamlining the process of exchange of information, data, drawings, and the overall process. These were based on survey conducted by project management experts in the construction industry. So to address this, what we think is typically the construction project management, it can be in 3 phases. One is the design and development phase, then you have the construction, actual field-based construction, and then the handover for maintenance and utilization. So we are focusing more on the design phase. Managing data at the design phase correctly and then addressing all the issues in the early stages can ensure you save on time, cost, as well as costly mistakes and accidents. And that is where we are going to position our product, right? So the solution that we have now acts as a common data environment. So this is thanks to the Autodesk Vault in the background, which can take any format of any of the Autodesk file formats in 3D as well as 2D, manage versions and revisions, and also control the accessibility to different teams based on roles. That is the common data environment background of the solution. Additionally, we also have a task and role based workflow. So any component in our product can be attached to a task and can be assigned to a person either by a role or by individual or groups. So you have total control on who does what, and it can be seen on a timeline and a Gantt chart. Additionally, we have options like we have a complete dashboard, we have reports that can be monitored at different stages. And because sometimes our solution is applicable for on-premise requirements due to sensitive information, we also have a built-in notification email notifier as well as a chat system. So the chat engine is built in and you can exchange data within the network. And further, we have a very powerful 3D, 2D visualization engine thanks to the viewer that comes with Autodesk Vault. Right? We are going to see these in action very shortly, right? So overall, long term, right now our product is more of a pre-construction design phase project management tracking and visualization tool. Very shortly next month, we are also coming out with the facility and asset management module that will take care of the maintenance, asset and facility part of post-construction utilization. The on-field construction, we are building some more features. We have a few overlapping features right now, but as the in the second quarter of this year, we will have more construction-related features. Now, I'm not going to go deep into individual modules or features because that is what we are going to see in the demonstration. But we more or less cover most of what is required in the initial stages of design management, right? Like I said, we already are integrated with Autodesk Vault. We also have data synchronization capabilities with MS Project, BIM 360 at the moment, but we also have capabilities to integrate with any other enterprise ERP, Primavera, or can also be synchronized with Autodesk Construction Cloud if necessary. We also have ISO standards built in the naming and folder conventions. We also have ISO-based security protocol. And because it's on-prem, we can also do multi-level, multi-factor authentication integrated to your systems. The solution itself can be hosted on your own server, or can be put on a private cloud, or can also be hosted on a public cloud. The model of implementation is absolutely left to you, right? The solution is based on server basis. There is no user license. It's only the Vault license for the people who are directly involved in drawing, check-in, check-out, and version revision control. Those people may require the Vault license, but otherwise the application does not have restriction on number of users, but it is based on server basis. Right. So it may additionally require a SQL server in case you want to manage the data within your server. It requires one license of AEC collection for managing the visualization files, and requires Vault license for the design users. And ideally, the architecture is with an application server, a database server, and a file storage server. Right. This is the approximate architecture of the solution, and this can vary based on the sizing required for your organization. All right, so with that, let me not spend too much time on the presentation. Let me go into the solution itself. I do have videos and YouTube videos already posted. You can always go to our Krion Consulting and Krion6D YouTube channel and have a look at these if you miss any of these during the presentation. I always believe in a live demonstration, so I'm going to do the direct demo on the product. In the likelihood of losing connection or any break, my colleague Diana will take over. What you're seeing is the latest release and the beta version, so that I can show you the new features. Right. All right. Let me go into the demo. All right. Are you guys able to see my Krion6D page?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So this is my login page. This page by itself is customizable to your organization needs if you host it on your server. So we have a simple authentication now, but can be extended to a multi-factor or an external SSO-based login with your organization's authentication system, right? So I first log in, and I'm immediately taken to my dashboard. This is the generic dashboard which shows the work that is pending on my table. It shows I have 14 reviews, 13 RFIs, and 11 issues pending on my table. It also shows which project, what is happening, right? And the projects that I'm active project that I'm part of now. It also shows the update as a log, and it shows individually what each of these components are. I can also see an all-time report, right, which shows all the projects that I have worked on, or I can see what I've been working this year, right, or what I've been working this week. So this is an active dashboard. So now if I can also filter based on individual projects, where it can filter to that particular project, right? Or I can also filter based on which engineer. So I have logged in as a manager. So I have this capability of seeing the dashboard of my other engineers also, right? But then it's up to me to customize this dashboard. So this dashboard is fully editable and customizable as per your requirement. So this is the overall dashboard. Next, I'm going to the projects. So based on my login and access, it shows only the project that I am involved in, right? And right now I'm there in about 7 different projects, and the status of the projects are shown here. And a new project can be created using a template or referring to an existing project also, right? And I can also create a project by uploading or migrating from another system. So let me jump into one of these projects. So when I go into the project, I can see the dashboard of that particular project. Once again, I can see the all-time report or individual people's report here by filtering. And then I can see the throughput of drawings that are created and released, right? And I can see the complete view of what is happening here, right? Again, this is a customizable dashboard. And so normally where would we start, right? So there are two ways to start. One, I would just click on this dashboard. It will take me to the complete list of reviews or tasks that I have to do, right, across the project. I have logged in as a manager, so I can see everybody's tasks. So this task list can be uploaded from an Excel sheet, or can be an MS project file uploaded, or I can synchronize it with the MS project server also, right? So the idea is it will have a complete task, subtask, and further refinement. It follows the WBS structure as per your project needs. It is also color coded, which shows different status of each task. I can also see what is the status of individual task items, when it was created, how many hours have been worked, and so on, right? And this task list can be filtered based on users, or based on the current status. And I can view this task list even on a Gantt chart or a timeline. So I have this complete task list here, and I can see it side by side with the task names. I can create relationships. So I just have to drag and drop, and I can create relationships. The user can also update the task duration, right? As a manager, I can also change the uh, task end and start dates, right? And the red mark is the baseline. So I have baselining feature. So certain milestones and certain main tasks have been baseline. So that is why you see the red mark. So that will show if the task has been moved or modified. And individuals can change the progress right here and then update the server, right? So this is the task-based review that I've been telling you. So I'm going to come to this a little later, how you use the task-based system to allot work and create workflows. So now let me go into the most common step that you will do when you start a project. You will start uploading all your project files into the system, right? There are multiple ways you can send files into the document base of our Krion6D system. Number one, if you are a designer, we have a Krion6D toolbar within Revit, AutoCAD, and any other Autodesk product. Primarily, if you take the Revit toolbar, it will you have the option of logging in into the Krion6D system, selecting the project and the folder, and in one click you can directly publish or upload all the um, Revit project files in one go into the system, right? So you as soon as it gets checked in, the files get go into the project folder. Again, the project folder is based on the template you use, or you could create any folder you want, right? So similarly, the Revit toolbar also has option to directly publish drawings, right? So uh, in one click, I could publish all the sheets that are there in Revit into the system, so that you need not save and then check in into Krion6D. You can directly push it from the toolbar. The toolbar also has capabilities of publishing the BOQ items or schedules from Revit. It can directly be imported into the BOQ module of Krion6D. Alternatively, you can also upload from an Excel sheet, right? So this is also a feature of the Revit toolbar. I'm not opening Revit now. It might take some time, so maybe at the end I'll show you the Revit toolbar and how it works. Just to save time, I'm skipping that part. So coming back, I have this list of all the documents that have come inside, and you can see it has a status shown here. This status is directly derived from the Autodesk Vault in the background. You can create the workflow in Vault and then it will reflect here. And it shows a four-stage document review workflow applied in Vault has reflected here. And I can change the status right here. So I'm going to change it to in progress, and then it goes back, changes the status in Vault and comes back. So that is in progress. You can see there is a download icon here. Some of it is activated, some of it is inactive. So that shows the file has been checked out by the user, some user to work on. So if somebody has checked out, you cannot download and work on it, so it gets locked. Likewise, when you check it back in, it activates again, but it immediately changes the version number. Version number is synchronized with Autodesk Vault again, right? Likewise, when you try to check in a released file, it changes the revision number also. Again, the revisioning is customizable. So we've done a very simple workflow for revision versions, right? But it is again, as per Vault, we can take, and there is an option to view previous versions also, right? These are all the previous versions of the file, which can be used for visualization. So coming to visualization, so how do I see these files? So like I said, we have, let me minimize this and then expand this. So we have a built-in viewer, thanks to Autodesk Vault based Forge viewer. So I have all these are native files that I checked in: Revit, Navisworks, AutoCAD, and so on. So I can just click and then view these. So what will happen if I click on an Excel sheet? So you have a built-in Excel, Word, PowerPoint, text viewer and editor built in. You can make changes and download also, right? So when you click on a file, it goes to Vault, checks out the file, and then shows it to you. So that way you know you are looking at the latest file, right? And the latest version, all right? I picked a very large file, unfortunately. Let me refresh this. Okay, so that Excel sheet was a very large Excel sheet. Let me skip that. Now let me go into the first step I would like to do is review a work done by my team. So how would you review a file, right? You would either open any one of this, or you would also like to federate a project, right? A federation or creating a multi-model structure is possible. So for example, I'm going to drag and group these files. So I have grouped them now. Now I can see these are Revit files. So I can actually select individual files like this. I can also add a couple of drawings, and then I can create a multi-model file. So this is give it a name, right? Now what has happened, this has gone into my list of multi-model views here. So this is what I created just now. I click on that. It uses the APS viewer that comes in Vault. It's using the Vault engine to create the visualization, and the view gets generated. So both 2D and 3D files have come inside. Obviously, we can see that the 3D files are fine because they are in a particular unit, but then the 2D files are in a different unit, so they're all sitting differently. Not to worry. So we have the file transformation tool. One way is to quickly measure, and you can paste the values here and you can modify, right? I have already done that, and I have an option to save it within the drawing. So that way you have to do this transformation only once, and then the setting gets built in and gets saved internally. So you need not redo this every time. So I have simply gone ahead, applied this. I can see this is not the top. So I'm going to change this to front. There you are. And I'm also going to set this as a home view. All right, I'm going to change the orbit. Oops. Okay. I'm also going to focus so that my pivot comes through the center. There you are. So now I have my 2D view, 3D view, 3D models all put into a single file for my review, right? So in the transform, if you notice, I have not only shifted the drawing and scaled it, but I have also rotated it and positioned it so that it sits on the correct level to help me review this better. So now I'm going to review this federated model. I'll go to the top view. I can see, right? This is the terrace drawing overlapping with the 3D model here. I can go and put my review, but now I'm just going to quickly see the parking lot. I think something is wrong with the parking lot. So I take the section, right? I have to switch off the shading, the section shading, right? So it's more visible. And then I'm going to pull the section down to the parking lot. There you are. And I just move into the particular view, right? Let's say I want to review this part, so I can zoom in wherever I want. And then I have the markup tools here, right? So I think something is wrong here. I can mark it. Position it. Oh, I don't need this. I need an arrow. Right. Then I'm going to add a dimension if required, or I'll just put a note saying please rectify, right? I can highlight it if required. Now here comes the best part. I can now go and give it a name. I can say parking lot mistake and save this. Right. So now what happens is I can always go back, right? I can remove the section. I can just see it as it is. But when I come back to the markup, I can just click on each of this item, and then I can recall the markup. So this was what I made. This I made earlier, right? These are based on some other reference, so without the section, right? So I've done the multi-model view. I've done the review. So now, okay, I forgot to copy it. Let me open this again. So I have an option to copy these items. So I'm going to copy the markup. I can come back to my review. I can create a new review, right? Or I can also go and edit this. So let me see which one shall I change. So I have a design review here. I'm going to edit, right? And then I'm going to paste that markup here, right? So in a review, these are things. So I can create a review and attach it to a main task so that it becomes a subtask in the WBS. I have an option to give a proper ISO based naming convention. Again, this is customizable as per your company standards. You can give it a name, you can give a start end date, right? You can attach anything to a review. When I say anything, it could be a file, or you could attach an RFI, issue a BOQ item or a form to a review item, or any combination of this also is possible. And then I update, so the task gets updated. So if I go back, right, I can see the markup URL has come here. So I click here, I can go and see which markup I have to address. And if you see, interestingly, as I applied a workflow, I have the workflow on the top. So let me quickly show you how to create a workflow. So this is another unique way of handling the transfer of drawings or any activity within the team. So Krion6D allows you to create any number of steps as workflow. So I have now restricted it to 5 steps, or it could be even a single step approval. This is where you give a name, right? I can give any name I want for the stage in my approval process. I can add individuals or multiple people. I can also choose a group, right? I can give a description. I can allot time allowed for that particular stage, either calendar day or working day. And I can also configure it to an email so that all the people in the workflow get notified that their work is on their table, right? I can also choose whether I want everyone to authorize or a minimum number of people. So since I've chosen 3 people here, I can either say either 1 guy or 2 guys have to approve the stage to move forward. So that way you can define your own workflow, and this workflow can be attached to any of the feature that we have. So if it's a document, you have a document workflow. For an RFI, you have a RFI workflow. For logistics, you have a logistics workflow, and so on. So that is how I have now attached a design review workflow to my system, and that has these many stages. So all I have to do is go, I can either approve, reject, or revise. Approve will move it forward, revise will take it backwards, reject will terminate the process, right? I can attach a comment here, right? Or I can attach an image or any other file required to process this stage. So when I submit, it has been submitted. As you can see, you need 4 people to review this. So I'm just going to trick the system, and then I'm going to do it again, and then it has moved to the next stage, and so on. It keeps moving up the stage, and this status gets updated both in my timeline, right, as well as the review list, task list, and the status is shown over here. So this is how you take a drawing, create a review, or create an issue or a RFI, and then send it for review within the team, right? This is one way of doing things. Now coming back to documents, I told you about um, directly uploading from Revit through the Revit toolbar. I also have a bulk upload option where I can put all the file names and folders in a spreadsheet. I call that spreadsheet, all the files automatically get pushed into the system, right? Alternatively, for people who have access to internet, can also, or having a BIM 360 account, can also synchronize it with BIM 360, right? So all the files and folders can be pulled and pushed from here to the BIM 360 account. We also have a sync button to synchronize data with the Vault, so that in case any out of sync files with Vault can be synchronized on the go. We are now, like I mentioned before, we are also having plans to synchronize with Autodesk Construction Cloud files also, right? So these are 4 different ways of pushing files into the system, right? So we have seen documents, we have seen timeline and review. So let me show you how else you can do a review, all right? So again, I'm going to push show all. Right, on the top, if you see, we've already seen federated view. I have an option to compare, visualize, clash, or see a timeline simulation, right? So let's go through that one by one. So let me do compare first. So there are 2 options, again. So I have an option to individually select 2 files. So I'm going to choose these 2 files, and then I can create a compare, right? Or let's say I don't want to do that. I want to compare the file with the previous version of that file. So if you see here, I have the same structural file, I have the previous version, right? I can choose the previous version and then compare, create a compare with the previous version also. So when I click on that, it creates a compare list, right? So this list will automatically refresh whenever a new file is checked in. So the compare happens, gets updated. So first, let me show you a 2D compare. There you are. So it shows first all the added components. Of course, we haven't added so many items, but for demo's sake, I have compared 2 completely different drawings, one of level 1 and level 5. So this shows the difference between the parking and the level 5. So these are all different items that have been added. These are all different items that have been deleted. And these are all different items that have been modified. So this is what are the changes done have been listed here, right? So this way you'll know what has changed by whom in the drawing. I can also do a quick side-by-side compare, and I can see those items also, right? Okay, so let me go back. Now let me show you a compare between 2 different versions of a Revit model, right? So this is the 3D compare, and it shows what has been removed, added and modified, and you have sub filters also, right? So this is how you do a quick compare between files. Now let me come back to the file, and then refresh the view, right? Then how do you visualize clash? So let's say you have done the clash analysis inside Navisworks, and you want to visualize the Navisworks clash. That is also possible. All you have to do is choose the Navisworks file and the clash export from Navisworks. click on these two, right? And then you create a clash. So it creates a list of all the clashes, clash files generated. So I click on that. All right, here you have. So this is the clash from the Navisworks model. I can click on that. It will show me the clash, right? Right here, I can switch off the background. I can switch off viewing lines and points also, right? And then I can, on the clash, create a task. I'm just saying, check this clash. All right. And I can clash. And I could have copied that markup and then posted it, right? So this is how I visualize clashes, right? Some of these clashes have been resolved. I have to update my clash and then it can get back here automatically, because once I synchronize with my vault, it will take care of updating the files here. So I have shown you clash. Likewise, I can create a timeline simulation. There are two different ways of doing a timeline simulation. The first one is, if I have done the timeline simulation in Navisworks, I can recall that Navisworks file and the timeline I have created uh, as an Excel sheet. I can see the simulation. So that would look something like this. So I have this. This is imported from Navisworks timeline and the Navisworks model. So I can see the timeline has been updated in the bottom. I can minimize that and I can play to see the simulation. Sorry, the items are jumbled in the Excel sheet, so it's showing in a different thing, but I'm sure you know how to set it right. So this is one way of simulating Navisworks timeline. I can always move the time bar and then see what is the status, right? Or I can move this bar also, right? And I can see what is happening. This is nothing but a visualization of what you see in Navisworks, right? The alternate method is I can attach the model to any external data, all right? So when I say any external data, it could be from your ERP, it could be your supply chain, it could be from your field report, right? People could be giving it to you as a database, or as a from a ERP, it could be published as a text file, CSV file, or it could come to you as a spreadsheet, right? So how do we do that? So typically, I'm going to take an architectural file, right? And then I have tools to attach external data. So I click on timeline. I can, like I said, I can connect it to a database, which could be your internal SQL server. You could attach it to a CSV or an Excel sheet. So I'm going to attach it to a Excel sheet, right? Or I can save this. So I have a save button. I've already done this before. So I just save this. I'm just recalling a saved simulation. So how do I set it? So I have to have a matching or a mapping column between my model and the database. That's all I need. It could be a tag number. It could be an ID or a item number that is common between the model and the external spreadsheet. Then I can choose what denotes the status, what denotes the progress. It's optional. I can choose any column to be the planned date. Any column could be the actual date update. And every day, if people update the spreadsheet, this you need not redo this. This will automatically refresh to the latest spreadsheet, and you can see the status here. So your ERP might give you output which has multiple date columns. One could be for supply, one could be for construction, one could be for inspection, and so on. So you can choose the column that you want to simulate and then load the model here. So there you are, right? Likewise, you have the items also shown on the bottom. Right, I'm going to position this and then I'm going to play this. So now it's playing the timeline based on an external data. Right, so this indirectly is a way to simulate any progress of any activity in your thing. I can also click on individual items and zoom to that, right? Or I can simply click outside. I can reset the model, right? And I can, like I showed you there, I can also drag this and move it around, right? And the visualization is color coded, so I could have again customizable to your requirement. Blue is work in progress, or red is delayed, green is completed, and so on. You could have different color codes for different activities, right? So that's how you do a simulation of timeline from an external item, right? So I'm going to hand over to my colleague Diana. So I'm just going to show what she's likely to start with. Diana, are you ready, or do you want me to continue?
No, I will.
Your voice is very feeble.
Is it feeble?
Very feeble.
Kripa,
Right.
is it
So
okay now?
a little more louder.
Kripa, can you hear me? Is it
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
feeble or?
Now it's better. Now it's much better. So she's going to show you how to raise an issue or an RFI. So we have many ways of doing this, right? So I could just take the model, right? Select an item. I'm just copying the code because it won't allow me to give a wrong code, right? I could paste a comment. It could be the markup also, right? I'm going to simply say change required and a question mark, right? I'm going to say this is 210. I just save, right? It gets a balloon gets attached, and then uh, the new item is created. Click on that. You can go to that particular RFI and then pursue. So from here, I'm going to hand over to Diana. So Over to you, Dana.
Okay, so I'll share my screen. Is the crayon visible?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So as you have seen, he had created a federated view in the multi-model view. So let me raise an RFI or an issue in the federated view, which he had already created. So this is what he showed. And seeing this itself, now I didn't know, supposingly I didn't know what to do with this, and I had already I didn't know the features, what to do, and I'm raising a markup here. Even that is possible. So let me show how that can be done. So on a 2D view, I'm labeling any fonts can be changed. It can be italics to what you want. It can be done. And now I'm labeling here. Why is this theme such? So I am saving this, and the moment I go and click on it, like how he showed earlier. Sorry, that wasn't. Okay. I'll go back to the federated view and come back. I just want to show an error and then raise some markup. Okay. So I feel there are some changes to be done here, and I feel markup to be raised here. So I think he has already shown the markup, and now I'll go to this particular markup. I will have to raise an issue. So what he has already shown you this. So these are the two buttons. You delete one markup if you don't want, and you copy this. So I have copied this markup, exit, and now I am raising an RFI, asking him to change the material. There is no material shown here, so I want him to change the material. I am and saved. It is saved here. And this RFI material has got the workflow, which he was already explaining you. And supposingly I go to that particular file, it will show the. So this is how an RFI is created. It will go to the same place. And similar way, I can also create an issue on the same view. So I find an issue here. Let us see it. So these are the issues already created. I will show you how an issue is created same way. So check the model. thinking it has got some issues. I am check the model. I am creating a issue here and saving the issue. So the moment I save the issue, it will get added to this list. So I am opening an already created issue list. So anytime you can go to that particular issue, you can see the issue raised and to which it is connected to. And being this a part of the workflow, I'm just clicking onto this and checking what is it related to. So it is related to some electrical drawing, and I see the drawing here, and I come back to the issue. I can see the same issue in this list as well. So you can list out all the issues here, and supposingly you, I'll open this particular issue, and sorry, So this is the flow, and now since there are a number of users here, so I'm submitting I can also approve it and raise a comment. Approved with comments or without comments, anything can be done as per the. So this has been moved or pushed to the next stage. So here the same way I log in here as the next user, and then I can open the same review. It will be in my bucket as this user with the number of users in this list, and I can submit a review from there as well. Similar way, you can also create a direct issue or a direct RFI from the list as well. So you don't have to go to a 3D or a 2D drawing. So an RFI can be straight away. It can be raised here in this page. The same way how the code was generated based on ISO 19650 format and the title of the RFI, it has to go to the subcontractor for materials or something like that, subcontractor, material subcontractor. Material subcontractor. And the question is, I'll put flooring material or whatever. And the dates and the location, all the discipline to which discipline belongs to, and any time you can also add. I don't have a flooring item here, so anytime a new item can also be added, and the category. Here the workflow can also be added. Similar way how we were adding an RFI issue to a workflow. Here also the same workflow can be added. So since this is a subcontractor workflow, already I have a workflow which is linking only the subcontractors in my to my company. So I'm adding to the subcontractor workflows, and then the priority can be set. And if at all I have to drag and paste an image, it can be done. And I'm attaching the file with relevant to this particular project. So whatever files are there relevant to this particular project will be displayed, and I can choose from there. Or I can also take a transmittal with respect to, or a BOQ, anything which is connected to this particular project. LLMT building can be retrieved from here. So that is how an RFI can also be created directly from to this list. And the moment you see, I have pushed it from my bucket to the other one, the status of the RFI also getting changed. It is just been created, it is in the result, responded. So these are the stages which automatically gets connected. Similar way, the issues can also be done in this same model, and the issue can also be retrieved back. And RFI issue, and then I'll show you the ticket. Suppose you have a ticket to be raised. These are the few tickets which are raised, and this also is followed the same pattern only. It is made as simple as possible so that the working flow or the working type is not getting, it's not too much confusing, and the same boxes are followed everywhere so that it's easier in the long term. So when you're creating the issue, automatically you can see the ticket numbering getting changed as per the ISO 19650. These are the project codes and the building code. This is customizable as per the customer's choice. And same way, similarly, everything can be done, and the workflow also can be created to the attached to a ticket. I'll show you a ticket which is already been opened. So This is a ticket which has been raised for the duct installation for the HVAC. So this is a ticket, and it is connected to the architectural drawing, which was part of the documents. Now I need to edit this ticket. So I am editing this ticket. It is with the logistics workflow. So I have to attach another file, supposingly from a transmittal or a submittal. For raising a ticket usually is part of a submittal package. So I can also edit it with the submittal package. So this submittal package, I'm just attaching to it. I'm also attaching a transmittal, since it's a final drawing which has gone out for construction or final vendor procurement. So I'm attaching that, and I'm attaching to the workflow. So the moment it gets attached, now if I go here, now this person, the next person will have this attachments to his list, and he will be able to approve it or without comment. And so probably this person is not attached to this. So if at all Kribagaran is attached to this logistics workflow, he will be able to now submit this review. The moment we get an error message that shows he is not part of the logistics workflow for which this particular ticket has been raised. So that is made secure, so that nobody else other than this particular organization or user team can go and push the workflow, or just for the namesake, nobody else can do that. So that is the ticketing, and creating a transmittal and a submittal. So submittal is again a similar workflow where you can add the submittal numbers are getting generated, and you have an attachment package from the Krion6D package only. So this package, the Krion6D drive, what you're seeing is nothing but the document page wherein you have these documents. So only these documents can be part of the submittal or the transmittal or the review, or anything can be. So you cannot take anything else apart from these documents which are here, which means it is prohibited to attach anything other than the document files. So now I am raising a submittal or a transmittal, both are same. I have a submittal, and I am adding the package from the Krion6D package. So you can add a package, and the package name can be given, and it can be created. So this is the way a submittal has been created with the people to be to whom it has to be assigned to for the approval to go out from the office to the next for the next flow. So once I click to that particular thing, it has gone and shown me all the number of documents here which are to be sent for submittal, or which are a package of the submittal, particular submittal. So that this is how it is made so simple. So when you are in the submittal and you are to approve, just go click the document which is attached as part of the submittal. Go check the drawings or check the documents which are part of the submittal. Here an entire folder is there. So you go click the entire folder. You have all the drawings which is part of the submittal. You click it and you open it. So suppose you are a contractor, you have all these packages for you to have to proceed further. What else are there, sir? I think forms are there. So forms are also made easier. So here we have a name build form, which basically there are two types. One is you can add a form, you can enter manually, you can the description, the number of, so yes, no type of a form. So when you go to the site, you find this yes, no, yes, and then you finally submit a form. So this is one type of a form what we have, and this form can also be attached to a, can always be edited at any point of time, and it can also be added to a workflow. So the other type of form is you have a pre-set form, which is a PDF format, wherein you will be able to fill in the form here I am opening a PTW subcontractor form, which he has already given us. So this is part of my hot work subcontractor form, wherein he will be, or he can be, yes, he can write directly there on the form itself, and at the end of the form you can also have a signature, a digitally signed a signature can also be done. So all these can be, so the number of people there can also sign here and it can be saved. So these are the two types of forms which are available, and as I told you, this can also be connected to the workflow. If it is a subcontractor workflow, if it is a logistics workflow, it can be connected to that particular workflow. So this is an existing form which I'll show you. So this is an attached workflow. So now it is with the BIM engineer for him to submit the review. I'll now go as a BIM engineer now to accept it. So Kirbaharan, I don't think he's part of this. Let me try. Yeah, he was also part of this group. So now it has gone to the next. So here, if I have to reject it, let us see what happens. So he has rejected it, it has come back. So it is made, so this workflow is similar in the entire package. The entire Krion6D has the same package. When one accepts, it goes to the next person. If one rejects it, it becomes red and it goes back. Yes, sir. So it's to you, Kriba sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Kriba sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Diana. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
So let me run through some more features. So is my screen visible? I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we have seen most of what we wanted to show you, but let me show you some extra features that may help you in your collaboration between your teams. So the first one is, let's say I've created all these issues and reviews. So what do I do? So I have to exchange it. So I can create a meeting, right? So I can schedule a meeting where I can add people to come and join me, right? I can call an entire group. I can attach individual files, right? It could be any sheet that is relevant to this meeting, right? I can also attach connected items like a drawing or a BOQ item or a form, and then I can call for a meeting or schedule a meeting at a particular date, and the people in the group would be automatically notified. You can also paste the meeting link if it is external into this and access that meeting link directly from the internal meeting schedule. I can attach notes. I can also attach minutes of meeting from my previous meeting as an attachment. So we have meetings as a module to exchange information, and it can be further, let's say, updated from time to time. So for example, this meeting is already concluded, but then I have an attachment here. I click on that, it opens whatever has to be done, actionable item, right? That was one way of communicating. The other way of communicating is I can very well take any particular page, right, and then go to a built-in chat window, right? So as a project manager, I have access to all the groups. I can create a new chat, a new group chat, right? Or go to an existing chat. So I just call on Diana. So I can say at, and then it lists all the people who are there, because there's an individual chat, at symbol doesn't work. And then I can refer by putting a hash. It lists out all the items that are there in this particular conversation, or I can search also. So let's say take an existing RFI, I can post it, right? Or since I already copied URL, I can post that also. So when I click on that particular, when she sees this message, she just has to go and click on that particular item, and it opens that relevant RFI or project detail that she wants to communicate. So the interactive communication within the teams without having to go to WhatsApp or any other messaging tool, particularly if you are on premise and you don't have a external internet network, this is the right way to take care of communication, right? So this is the communication tool I wanted to show you. Let me go into some interesting analysis features, reporting and analysis features. So I just jumped into a project. Besides creating a timeline from an external data, I also have an option to attach external data and visualize different parameters. So let's say you have a status report coming from one of your scheduling softwares or from an ERP package, and you want to update that data on the field, but in the model, right? So you have this data connection tab. I can attach it to a database or a spreadsheet, right? And I can save it. So I have already saved the data. I call it, I just have to recall the connection, all right? And then, like I already showed you, I can create a connection by having a mapping field, and then I hit on hold, right? Hit on load, and then the data is now connected to the model now. So let me check. There you are. I double click, I get the properties. Now, can you see that there are 3 boxes appearing here? These are coming from, right, the external data that I pulled into the system, right? So, and these are editable. So I can increase the cost, I can increase the quantity, right? I can make some changes, put some remarks, right? And then it gets saved. I hit enter, it gets saved. Likewise, any data that is attached will highlight the information, and then I can export this updated report again into a spreadsheet, and then or a CSV file, and I can synchronize it back to my ERP package. So that way I can make changes by referring the internal properties that are there in the model from the BIM data, connected to an external data, update it and export it back for either reporting or for uploading it back to the solution. So I'm going to show you another example. So I'm going to take an architecture model for this time. Right, I take the external data. So I'm going to take cost simulation. I have status, I have progress also. I save this additional information. I say load. I don't want the timeline. So now if I double click right? It shows the information like the finish and so on, right? So not all objects have all the properties. So depending on what I select, I'm going to get these information, right? And then I already showed you the planned start and close. Additionally, I'm going to, so here you are. So this product, I can also change the status. I can update the progress, and then I can export it on the model, right? So this is attaching data to the model. This is one way of reviewing based on data. The other way is I want to see it graphically, right? So let me, my right click is not public. Right. Another way is I want to see the output, right? So I have a graphical way of visualizing my output. So I can choose any property from the model as well as from my external information. So my external information, for example, I could take type, right? Or in this case, I want to first filter by the level, right? And then I will choose some other parameter, right? Let's say electrical data. Okay. So I click on that. It filters the model, and you can see the sub data here, right? Now, additionally, I just not only see the count, I can also get the sum. Let's say I want to get the sum of all the length of all the steel, right, or volume of concrete, right, or and so on. So I could sum it up, and then I can see the total values from the model, right? So as long as these are numbers, this will sum it up and give you the value. So I can see it is not summing up because it is a text field, but again, you get the idea, right? So this is one way of analyzing the data. I can create multiple charts for different data, right? And then use it for analyzing the model, combining parameters, both internal and external, right? And this is one way of doing it. Another way of doing this is I have a reports page where I can extract different reports. It could be document-based reports, right? I can filter them, right? I have filter options here based on different users or any column. I can group them, right? So I'm going to take this based on status. I just created a quick filtered report. I can export it, right? And then I can visualize it in any external tool. So I'm using Excel for simplicity, but this can be done on a Power BI. When we implement it for you, we can even connect it to any internal reporting tool directly, so that this report can be updated automatically in the background instead of having to export and then update the data, right? So this is another way of extracting reports, right? Now, I think I have completed the features. Have I missed anything? Roles, yeah. Coming to users, so An administrator can add users or import users. You can define global roles, as well as if you go into the project, right, I can assign project-based roles also, right? So I have assigned role here. I can assign a project-based role. This is because someone could be the project manager in one project, he could be a reviewer in another project, or he could be just an observer, or it could be a contractor to whom you give access, and then you can restrict him just review only access for specific projects. So you can assign the role for groups as well as individuals, right? And okay, another feature is checklist. You can import checklist and attach it to a task. That way, only if the checklist is completed, it will allow you to close a task. So that is also a feature, right? And we have a powerful search option, and this is being further enhanced now. So if I let's say stars, it will search across the system, show you whether it's a task, BOQ item, or a project. Wherever this word appears, it is going to show you that, right? And we are having a AI-based search being developed right now. It should be there by second quarter, where it will also search across all the data, including images, inside drawings, right? Any text inside the drawing or files and so on. So we are going to have that also very soon, right? With that, I'm going to close this. We come to the end of the demo. We overshot the time. Do you have any questions? We can go into quick questions if required. You can raise your hand. I think my team will allow you to put it, enable you, or you could post the question on the chat window also.
So there's a first question from Mr. Reddy. Do we have an integration with SAP modules like project systems, material management, finance and controlling, etc.?
Right. So as I mentioned before, we are a customization and development company. So we've done a lot of integration to SAP in the past, SAP Infor and Microsoft Dynamics. These ERPs, we have done some integration work, but it is a custom activity. So once you get the system on, and then you have, you can specify your requirement and we can get it developed. So we have experts in each of these products and modules. So example, we have developed on Infor ERP for a customer where the material code itself is generated from our system and then pushed into the ERP remotely, and items and materials are created from our interface also. That is also possible, right? Or from the BOQ item that we extract from there also, you can create items within your ERP. So answer to you is, it's not a base feature, but it is a custom feature that we can develop. We can do. So this has been a request from some other people also. So extracting cost from your finance module, updating it to the 3D model or to the project management, reworking on costing, that is possible. Any other questions? While we wait for any questions, I'll just quickly show you the Revit toolbar. So you have the you can log into the Krion system from any Autodesk product, upload the files directly from Revit as a project. or choose the sheets and then export directly into the Krion system, into the project and folder. Likewise, you can export the schedule of items from here into Krion6D. All right, so I think there are no more questions. Is there a question? Right, I think there are no more questions. So let's close this session. I'm sure you already have our contact information. Please do get in touch with us if you have any more questions. And we also have a trial program. Right now it's fully booked. A lot of people have asked for trial, so on a queue basis we are releasing trial accounts. Do get in touch with us. We'll enable you to test it out. Customization is possible, right? And we can work together. Thank you. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.